If you step out to use the bathroom, I mean, God bless you, that's tough.
Yeah, that's preposterous.
I mean, you could think it's calm in one moment and then you're wrong. Like, you have to run back inside because something's happening.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a villain thing to say that's not gonna give it away, you know what I mean?
Our life is suffering, whether you like it or not. It's war, you know, and you have to look at it in the eye. You have to look that dragon in the eye and go to war with it if you even want to dream about having peace.
Hello everybody, I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jose.
And we are driving on our way to see the early release of Avatar: Fire and Ash. We are a family of actors. You might have seen some of our family members in shows like The Liberator on Netflix, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, The Valet, Cobra Kai, and one of our original short films, Candy Chaos. We love movies. We've been watching movies forever, since our kids were babies, and we like to watch movies together. It's one of our favorite things to do. Today we actually have plans, him and I, my hubby and I, we were not able to catch the screening that our kids are gonna see. So we are actually watching this first before they are. We should be exiting the theater as they're arriving to the theater. So the big challenge is going to be to not make any faces or make any comments and not reveal anything of how we feel leaving the theater. But we will be recording our review or our feelings and thoughts of the movie with you guys afterwards. And then they're going to record their footage after and let us know what they thought. What are you looking forward to in the movie today, love?
Well, right now, to be very, very transparent, I just want to get there on time, relatively speaking. You know, we watched a little video yesterday of James Cameron talking about how the evolution of 3D filming has been for him, as he's basically invented this way of filming, or at least reinvented, for the sake of telling the story he wants to tell. You know, with him, it's always story. I'm very, very curious to see where the story goes and what is next in the chapter. So those are two big things that I'm looking forward to.
I know that the things that he does in his films are just next level. And sorry, our wheels skidded a little bit. He's a little excited about seeing trailers.
Oh, goodness.
No accident, please, to see trailers. But yeah, I'm excited to see it with you, my love. We haven't seen a movie by ourselves together, actually, in a while.
Good while.
So it kind of feels like a date night.
Yeah.
Afternoon, but it's fun.
Afternoon.
It's fun. I think this is kind of cool that we get to see it first.
And we're watching it in the same theater, so as we walk out...
Yeah, they're going to be walking in, which is going to be
That's so funny.
I'm not good at hiding my feelings and thoughts. I'm very easy to read, so I might have to put on my low acting skills. I mean, we've been waiting for the next film, and I know it takes a lot of hard work, so we'll see what it entails. Hopefully the 3D won't throw me off, because I'm not a big 3D person.
Yeah, we'll see how good the movie does in bridging the gap of time, because it's been a minute since we've been in this series, and we haven't seen the movie in a while. So let's just go see how well we connect to it without having any of that. Hopefully I'm not spending too much time trying to remember things, because then I'm sure I'll kind of get lost in trying to remember and not really connect to the moment as it's happening. So that's a
Well, the last one was about water. This one's about fire. Let's just remember that.
Maybe that's all we need to know.
All right, we'll talk to you guys after.
Wow.
Here's our
We got a little poster. We get to put it up on our wall. I enjoyed the length of the movie. I can imagine some people will complain that it's too long.
There are some themes that are very similar to the past two movies, that once you're going through another third 3-hour movie, it does get a little bit long-winded. Maybe we could have...
For me, it was just right.
Yeah.
It's just that I can hear how... I mean, we're living in the age of streaming. People can watch things on their phone. They can pause. You can go to the bathroom, go get your snack. It's a different culture in that sense. You know, when I think of Indian cinema, for example, they have these great epic tales. And I personally love this. I love that we get to sit with these characters even more. For me, yeah, some of the battles seem similar, but there's very different stakes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on with all of our characters, our family of the Na'vi, Jake Sully's family, the Sullys. We're catching up to them in the beginning, and as expected, they're all dealing with the loss of Big Brother, and they're dealing with it differently. So that kicks us off into the whole journey. Cinematically, visually, it's like nothing else, man. It is absolutely impressive in every possible way, and it didn't take me long at all to adjust to the motion.
No, there
It
was maybe
perfect.
two short scenes where there were certain movements where, because it's 3D, it was a little like, whoa, but it didn't affect me at all.
No,
It was refreshing to have 3D because you felt more engrossed and embedded within the world of.
the whole of it. It's a beautiful film. Visually, the themes are still very, very beautiful, very poignant.
Very beautiful concepts to dive deeper into and discuss even more. There's some big family-oriented things about love, about sacrifice. Funny enough, there were some moments that took me to some biblical storylines that I loved. I know that it's probably not James Cameron's intention, but
It was very spiritual.
it was very spiritual.
And there's some very specific biblical moments that I think you might be talking about the same one. So
And-
astounding.
And just, I mean, you forget that you're in a film, like that you're watching a film. You feel like it's real.
Yeah, especially because it's the frame rate that we're watching it in. It feels more live, like a documentary in the sense of like a natural, like a National Geographic type of documentary. We're really watching something like this happen in real time. So it's just breathtaking.
And one thing is like the characters, right? How they make them look so tall and large and like blue, and their eyes, the way that they look, and their hands, and like just all these different things. But then you look at the wildlife, the animals, the environment, and then you're just like mesmerized. And I'm really blown away by that. It's like we just left. It was like magic. Okay, the kids are gonna get here very soon, so we're gonna stand up and wait for them, and then hopefully wish them well. Say nothing.
I hope you guys get a poster if you get to the theaters. We got this cool poster.
We'll try to say nothing and let them go on their way. We do have a meeting to go to with some friends, so.
We are off.
Hey.
Hey guys. All right.
The journey is ahead of us.
It's your turn now.
I'm expecting water. It's James Cameron, so it's probably going to be some water.
You know I said the same thing earlier.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Hey guys, so
We just got out of watching Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Yeah.
And,
that was a lot. That was a lot.
In a good way, though.
In an amazing way. It was exceptional, mind blown. A lot of new things. That was the main thing we were going into with this, is what does this movie have to offer that's new? And there's a lot of new stuff. A lot of new stuff.
The biggest question, besides is there anything new, is it worth coming out to see this movie?
Yes.
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 Yeah, James Cameron blows away again in terms of a cinematic experience with the 3D, obviously, but he does it in a way that's intentional.
I mean, he's dominated it.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of movies in 3D
because
nowadays.
Because of Avatar, they've mastered the craft. They've mastered the experience. It feels like you're seeing life before your eyes, and it's very trippy. It's very just mesmerizing, and it continues to be. And I actually felt like it was a bit even more enhanced this time around. Even more.
Definitely. Yeah, it was a lot. So we brought some friends with us to watch with us. You heard from our parents earlier. We haven't heard their thoughts. They didn't tell us a single thing earlier. We definitely will talk about it with them later tonight. But we're going to bring our friends on and hear their thoughts. We thought it'd be fun to get their perspectives, different perspectives besides the family, to get just how it's impacting other people.
Okay, guys. So we're here. This is Ethan. Ethan, what did you think of the movie? What were your thoughts?
I loved the movie. Honestly, it was probably, it's a hard one to say, but I think it might be my favorite out of the three. First one's still really good, but just watching it, I liked how like Spider kind of changed from the second film to the third film, and how my eyes became a hero in the film.
Did you like, was there any character dynamics you liked? Or?
I really liked Jake's performance in the film, and how he never really had any respect for his son until like his son actually showed respect in this film. And it really like was a turning point in the film as like a father-son bond. So
It's definitely a lot to unpack. It's amazing how the advancement of technology, like they're able to show more of the emotion in like the actors like what they're naturally doing performance-wise. So to be able to just see that even more, it leaves you still so emotionally connected. It definitely was a lot, just an emotional roller coaster. But I think being able to capture that, the new characters, they just continue to deliver, and it definitely doesn't disappoint. That's for sure.
this was the first film where they introduced the fire ash people. That was really interesting to see. It was definitely a different region of, I guess, Pandora that we'd never seen before. So we saw new villains. Some had to go undercover as we saw. Basically just gave away in that how Neytiri kind of goes undercover with the makeup. I'm trying to think of like a villain thing to say that's not going to give it away, you know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, it was amazing. I like the villains a lot.
I think one thing that I do find very cool about these movies, and this one specifically, is even the villains are very complex. Like, they're not just fully evil. Like, there is a justification as to why they are the way they are. So I do love how they're also complex characters. I don't know what you thought about that. But
Definitely. I like how they had a background that was really hard for them growing up, and that caused them to kind of go their own way. Even though they're evil, they think that they're doing good, and ultimately it's bringing harm to their own planet and to AWOL. Yeah.
Dude, what are your thoughts? What are you feeling after this movie?
You know, I really liked it. It was definitely very slow, very long movie, but I think other than that, it was a very enjoyable movie. I love the action in it. You know, I like not seeing a lot of guns, you know?
Yeah.
Like more like the bow and arrows. I kind of enjoy that, honestly.
Yeah, because well, one, it's a very complicated situation and just in general. And such a big part of this movie, part of Fire and Ash, is that destruction and machine versus those primal, just human ways of being. So it's definitely that's a huge part of it. It makes the action dynamic. And you said it's long. It's a long movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like you have to be prepared. There's a lot that goes on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I mean, for as long of a movie as it is, if you're not paying attention at certain parts, you can completely lose the whole movie.
Yeah.
And you just are not going to know where you're at.
Yeah, if you step out to use the bathroom, I mean, God bless you. That's tough.
Yeah, it's preposterous.
I mean, you could think it's calm in one moment and then you're wrong. Like, you have to run back inside because something's happening.
Exactly, yeah.
The sound mixing was amazing. The visuals were just stunning.
Especially having it 3D, I think it was more appealing to the eye for sure.
Definitely. No, it felt like we were there. Like the water was gonna come out.
I vividly remember the scenes like where they're running through the forest, which I think they do more than once. They do that actually multiple times.
A lot of
throughout the
times.
movie. But it feels like I'm in the forest. Like I feel like the leaves are hitting me in the face, you know?
Yeah. I do feel like there's been similar like themes throughout in terms of music, and James Horner did a wonderful job. It's more than wonderful, a fantastic job building the soundtrack, the music that you hear. And I know that this composer that did this one had to carry on that mantle, and just like he did in Way of Water. But there were themes that they used from the second movie that they brought back into the third. And then on top of that, for moments that were intense, suspenseful, things that we'd never seen before, the music matched that. The music told us, you've never seen this before, this is new. And that was really special.
Yeah, I agree. I think the music was just amazingly orchestrated, and I think it was beautifully incorporated into the movie in certain scenes, and it kind of brought you closer to bumping your heartbeat, like feeling the action in the movie at certain times.
Yeah, I mean, because it's such a long movie, you definitely could mess up the soundtrack, right? In terms of putting in the same sounds, and
especially because you have more opportunities to do so with such a long movie. It's like you could have so many good songs and then have one bad song. Like it's always possible with such a long movie like that.
Yeah, so you could tell that they were really paying attention to the story, and it went really well with what was going on. So it served the story. The soundtrack was great.
What I noticed throughout the movie is I saw a lot of Christian viewpoints throughout the movie, such as Kiri. She wasn't, how do I word this? She wasn't she didn't have a father, kind of just as Jesus did. And I especially noticed that being closer to Christmas time, and that kind of really popped out to me, especially with Kiri. When she's underwater, she's trying to reach God and speak to God. And she gets pushed away every time, and they're telling her if you keep doing this, you're gonna die. Yeah. If you keep trying to get to God, you're gonna die. And I mean, they get to a tough point of the movie where it feels like they're 100% defeated, victory isn't possible. She goes down, she tries to reach God. She has her two friends come and help her, bring her. I see that bringing her closer to God, really. And through that, they persevere. They reach God. I guess it'd be returning of the elixir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely there's a big repetition of just to keep going amidst the odds, amidst the suffering that faith gets you through.
Exactly,
it's a beautiful thing that we can take into life, even though don't have floating islands and beautiful scenery. We need it. We need
Sometimes we do, but not all the time.
Right. Sometimes we do. They float around here and there.
Lorenzo, so that was quite the movie, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
It's packed with a lot. Diving into themes and takeaways, there was a lot in this movie.
That's right.
We were talking with Coleman about the parallels to like Jesus and Kiri and not having a direct father.
Yeah.
But then I was telling Coleman what stood out to me was the parallel to the whole Abraham and Isaac story. You know?
Yeah, with Isaac.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking with Jemi, and we were talking about on the other side, like, there's a reason why the Bible has stayed around for so long. It's because it's connected to everything. Like AWA is. It's just like with every single good story that involves like self-sacrifice, like the good, staying on the one path. Because that's one thing that's definitely that resonates throughout the movie. It's like Jake Sully has to stay on this one path. Like everybody learns their own way, subjectively, but objectively there is a good path that everybody aligns on, and connects through like the God figure, which is AWA?
Right, AWA, yeah. And also there's that element of God's will or AWA's will.
Right.
Like Neytiri having to deal with the loss of her son and the suffering, and like there's a plan with all this. And then on the opposite side you have Varang, right, the main villain of this movie, who was amazing performance by Una Chaplin, who, fun fact, is the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin, so that's like really cool. But her character is like the opposite of that, where she also experienced suffering and had like the exact opposite response, where she's completely forgetting all of it.
Right.
So that was interesting.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like a Job gone wrong kind of thing. That's kind of
right.
Like everything taken away from him, but instead of him being like, nah, it's like
yeah, man, I love the themes of like family and sticking together, perseverance, like what faith really means, resilience. I loved how much AWA, obviously there's a lot of parallels to like Mother Nature, but I also thought of Mary, obviously. What other characters stood out to you in terms of their either progression or?
Yeah, I think what's always so interesting is that James Cameron like was building a culture, and like when a culture comes, a culture is built from families, right? Because families, like through tradition, they consolidate tradition, and with that there has to be some form of gender roles. And it was kind of hinted every now and then. There was a moment where like the council was arguing with Jake Sully, and then she didn't say anything to him until after they were in private, and she was like, I wouldn't speak out to my husband in public like that, kind of thing. And it's not because her voice doesn't matter, right? It's because she recognizes that they're supposed to be one, you know? And they're not supposed to show like disorder or like
discord. Yeah.
Discord between the married couple, because they're supposed to be one, and they can discuss that because her opinion does matter, absolutely. But in public, it's so important to show to the people that the culture is intact, their marriage is intact, and they speak about it like privately as well. I thought that was very interesting.
And the dance that they dance, because there's moments where like he tells her something, and then her instinct, like if she truly obeyed him, she wouldn't have gone to save him.
Right.
And so it's like that balance of learning how to work together and have a conversation. But you're absolutely right. Like she still had strength even in those moments where she chose to trusting him in his path. And we mentioned this very pivotal moment in the story where they're both having to deal with Spider and the hate that she's feeling, and her having to heal from that. So all of that is extremely just wonderful and like rich with so many different themes and takeaways. I love the character of Loak.
Which one was that one again?
The main brother, the younger one.
Oh, okay, the younger one. Okay.
Just his character growth. Not gonna lie, he really annoyed me in the second movie. But seeing him in this movie, I got to feel for him a little bit more. I resonated a lot with the brother that died in the second movie. So to kind of be like, oh man, like looking. That perspective of, man, if I left my younger brother, what would I want him to go through? And so it was interesting to kind of step into those shoes of what he was feeling, the guilt, the shame, and how do you build beyond that?
Right. And so like, and with his character development, right? Like, what did you think that was meant to like show us, or because it's also like this is specifically for young men, because he's a young man turning into a man, or Jake Sully, it's like you have to prove to me, you know,
Right. Well,
that and give you respect. Like, what exactly did he do, you think, that like allowed him to develop like that?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of direct things where he wasn't necessarily listening to Jake, and that came to hurt him and his family. It wasn't necessarily directly his fault. I just think he wants to be seen, right? And as the younger brother, I'm sure there's comparison to the older brother, or again to the father. You want to be seen by the father. And Jake, so it's interesting because I think Jake is an awesome father figure on film. Not perfect, but he's present and he's constantly trying to do his best. And in this case, it was Loak having to fully trust in what Jake was telling him. But then Jake also had to be humble and realize, oh, okay, I'm projecting my own guilt onto my kid and I need to be there for him. So I don't know, I feel like it really came down to them seeing each other. I mean, they say that a lot, I see you.
Right, true.
And so there's that element of him having to learn to obey his dad and trust, like the obedience part, of like, I trust that I need to listen to him, like he, you know, but then Jake also trusting his son. So all of that was fascinating. And you brought up cultures, and like when you talk about the culture that he was creating in the families, right? And I loved all of that because Loak also was uniting everybody, you know, the whales, everyone, ultimately to fight the darkness, fight the evil. You know, I mean, the humans in this movie, I mean, they're just all of human imperfection magnified to the max. I mean, these people are just like heartless, completely consuming. So that was interesting. You know? I don't know how that made you feel. Like, it was so...
I mean, I kind of saw kind of like a warning to people who decide to take things like so liberal. Some liberalism actually in the movie did serve some good, because for example, like Loak, like he changed the status quo with the whales. There was some liberalism right there, and it served the greater good, right? But also at the same time, this is like full deep dive. Like fire burns everything. Like fire is pure form, like chaos is the pure form. Kind of thing. And it was just that kind of like worship of chaos. Like there's no standards. Like you can be anything you want. Like there's no culture, there's no tradition, like no shame, kind of thing. And also to keep on going with keep on forgetting his name.
Loak.
Yeah. He decided to obey Jake. You know, because if you can't follow, you can't lead either. Right? And that goes back to our call when it comes to our relationship with God, kind of thing. Because when we were talking about, all of us, when we were talking about How to Train Your Dragon, right? It was like what allowed him to become a man is he answered the call from God, kind of thing.
Right.
He knew there was a greater good about like getting the dragons together and learning how to live in harmony with them, kind of thing. And Loak was doing the same thing. He had a call from God. With his mom, he was like, "There's something I have to do. I have to go." kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just like
the call to a higher purpose, right?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, to God.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's the hero's journey. It's so universal. And Loak had his own version of that. Spider did too. I thought it was interesting that Loak was narrating this one.
Was it Loak?
I think it was
Or
Loak.
was it the older? I feel like it's the older brother.
It was the older brother.
Because like he's in the spirit world, like he's saying all these like wise spiritual. I don't know. I just kind of
yeah. No, for sure. But I definitely, to your point, it reminded me a lot of what we talked about for How to Train Your Dragon. That sense of there's moments where characters have that riding a dragon type of moment, and it really is them coming into their own. And I was having a conversation with my dad the other day where each one of us has our own demons, our own dragons to slay, right? And I feel like there's this element of if we don't conquer them, if we don't annihilate them from our lives, then our descendants have to deal with them. And you know, there's an emphasis on ancestors in this story, and it's connected to the spiritual world. But even here, it's like Jake is like, no, man, we gotta erase this or do our best to eliminate it so that the future of the Na'vi can survive, you know. And it's fascinating because I feel like in the second movie, I'm going deep here. He's kind of running from it a little, like they're trying to run away and find more peace, but then it comes back to haunt them. And then in this movie, again, certain moments definitely have Jake confronting it and doing the thing. So
well, one of my favorite quotes from Saint Catherine of Siena is, "With no war, there's no peace." So she says, and it's so true. I mean, like, think about it. Like, our life is suffering, whether you like it or not. It's war, you know, and you have to look at it in the eye. You have to look that dragon in the eye and go to war with it if you even want to dream about having peace, kind of thing. You can't just like stand by and like, you know, like you do you and I do me kind of thing.
Right.
It's like that's I would love for it to be that way. It makes things a lot easier, but
right.
it's just not how it is, and we have to come to terms with that.
It's interesting, Varang and the fire, you know, talking about the most pure thing being fire. It's so interesting because fire is like such a beautiful but yet destructive thing.
Right.
And the power of like, it's just such a divine and natural thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that it has the power to cleanse, but also to heal, also to like burn away, but also to, like you said, chaos. So
Right.
it's this interest of like, Varang took this thing that did belong to Awa and kind of like made it her own. Which I think is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you talk about the natural world and when natural disasters happen and we're like, wow, that's a very vivid reminder of like the power of God, right? And so when I'm imagining it's the volcano that we saw in the background, and when the volcano from the fire from the mountain, you know, destroyed her people.
No, I love that actually, because it makes me think that, you know how like it's not hidden that there's a war on beauty. You know?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you look at the times, people have dressed less and less impressively, less willing to look beautiful kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, almost kind of like what you were saying, is like this chaos kind of thing. Like, I'm going to make it my own. Like, people like are not beautiful out of spite, you know? Kind of thing. Like, they want to make their own, which actually really comes back to like a lot of like broken human nature. Like, because for me, example, like I would struggle a lot, or I do struggle with that. Like when I sin, it's because of pride, because it's kind of like I'm gonna do it on my own terms, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Literally, that's like a Luciferian trait, which is like that pride of just like him being like, well, if I'm gonna go to hell, like I might as well rule hell, kind of thing, out of spite of God, kind of thing. And that's what she was doing. That's what she was doing out of spite.
Absolutely. Horich is such a fascinating character too, because he is Na'vi, but he has the memories of you know, Colonel, and he has a choice, yet he chooses not to live freely. So I think that's interesting too.
Same thing. You know? He's
Yeah.
given a choice, right? But he goes into the fire on his own terms, out of spite, kind of thing. And it's so funny because it's like
sometimes we have to go through it to know, like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, bro. God,
Good.
I feel so bad for God, because he's like, I'm literally like Jonah. Like, I literally have to be in the belly of the beast before I'm like, oh wait, like I shouldn't be doing this. Like, this sucks, kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
But I'll wrap it up for me right there, because I could go on forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of themes there. It's beautiful. This movie's packed with so much. Go watch this movie. If you can watch the other two, I mean, even if you didn't, they do a great job summarizing it, but there's a lot here. It's new, it's fresh, building on the themes of the others. I heard James Cameron said this wraps up like the story arc of the other two movies, and I would agree with that. I think this wraps up a lot of the character arcs that we saw, leaving definitely room for building on new things that we experienced in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, it's a master class.
I got two questions for you. One, do you think there's gonna be a fourth movie?
Oh, I mean, if this movie makes money, which I have full confidence it will.
Right.
I definitely think there will be, especially the way that things ended. So
right.
We'll see, man. But
and then the second one, you don't have to answer it because it can be a hard one. I asked your dad when I saw him on the way. Now that you've seen it, like, how would you rate the three movies, like against each other, like 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1 kind of thing?
Personally, I like this one, then the first one, and then the second one. So that's that. But
okay,
that's a good question.
Yeah.
So those were our thoughts on Avatar: Fire and Ash. There's a lot of details and beautiful moments that happen in this film.
A lot to unpack for sure, but definitely quite the amazing journey and it's worth the experience and just the 3D scope of it all.
Yeah, a very big human piece, and it doesn't fail to do that, to remind us of who we are, how we are, and what we're called to do, which is to be faithful, to be loving, no matter the odds, no matter how despairing, to just keep going, believe in the impossible, and come watch Avatar: Fire and Ash if you can.
Yes.
On the biggest screen that you can. Thank you for being here with us.
Yes, thank you.
We look forward to the way that the story continues. Thank you, James Cameron.
Yes.
My goodness. Go out there, spread your light, and we'll see you guys in the next MaJeliv video.
Bye.